guys, we are live here at Earl's Pizza on 377 in Argyle. We have brought 3 of our volunteers today to show you some different ways that you can volunteer with Grace Like Rain. We've already showed you coaches and some things that our coaches do, but now we have other opportunities as well, and we want them to share with you what they do and how it's impacted them, and maybe it's something you needed to hear this morning to make you say, yes, I'll volunteer.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us and jumping on. And I'd love for you to meet 3 amazing women that have stepped up and they have said yes. Different things that they're doing and different ways that they're involved. So real quick, can you just each tell us who you are and what your occupation is?
Sure, I'll start. My name's Emily Robinson. I live in Denton and I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner. So I work usually 3 days a week, 12-hour shifts, and then on my days off I'll help out with Grace Like Rain.
And tell me real quick, are you married?
I'm married.
Do you have any kids yet?
I don't have any kids.
No kids yet.
Yes.
So. All right.
I'm Lindsay, and I'm a stay-at-home mom as well, and I have 2 little girls, and I help out with Grace Like Rain when I can.
And I'm Kendra, and I'm married to John Lotherback. We live in Argyle. We've got 3 kids and a stay-home. And yeah, that's it.
Kids keep us busy. So.
That's right.
Okay, tell me, and you can each tell a little bit, what do you do with Grace Like Rain? Because each of you do something probably a little different but similar. So what is it that you do with us?
So I volunteer usually to help provide rides or childcare. So rides, whether that be to and from work, to go to get groceries, to go provide childcare. I go over to one of our mom's houses pretty frequently to help her run to the grocery store or get to work or watch her child.
Okay.
And our family has helped a lot with the move-ins of the families, and my husband will do the truckloads kind of thing, and then I will help photograph events or the move-ins itself and just different things like that.
I usually just help with transportation. I've helped take kids to school, and then a mom to and from work. And then sometimes I get the child and take them to whoever's doing childcare that day.
Okay. Perfect. Real quick, a couple of the things, and I'll just expand on a few things. So drivers, about how much time out of your day does it typically take for you to drive someone to and from where they need to go?
Not long. I help with a mom who works in Denton, so it takes me, I go to her apartment, and from her apartment to her work is maybe 15 minutes. So the whole round trip, if I just go straight there and straight back, it's 45 minutes maybe. But normally I try to tie it into stuff. If I'm going to Denton, then I'll do errands. You know, that way it works with my day better. So I'm there and I get stuff done after I drop her off and then come home. But it doesn't, I mean, maybe 45 minutes tops.
Yeah, same. It just depends. If I end up watching the child, then that's kind of changes things. But to actually just provide the rides, especially since I live in Denton, only takes maybe 15 or 20 minutes. So.
But the, I totally lost my train of thought. Anyways, go ahead, Lindsay. I know your time has been a little bit more because when we do a move-in, it's typically an all-day event.
Yeah. My husband, I don't know, he does different things with the traveling, I guess, so that's its own part. But I normally just hang around for the whole move-in, and then I will photograph either at the end or before they get there, and then throughout the whole thing, and then go home and edit, and then send over to Michelle. So.
And we've got some amazing pictures from you, so thank you so much for that.
I didn't know you did that part.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you specifically, and I know this wasn't a question, so I'm going to catch you a little bit off guard, but you have mentioned, and you've alluded to this, that your husband has helped. So for you, it's been a family volunteering. So what has that been like for your family to be able to go in and help with these?
Well, first, I feel like it's super important to have our kids watch and I guess grow up with service, and we just feel it's very important to serve others. So why not make it a family gathering and experience?
So I think there was a video or a picture that we had once, and one of your little girls was carrying in this huge something into this house, and I was like, it was just so cute, and it's fun when we get to watch our kids get involved and volunteer and be a part of this also. So that's been fun to watch with you guys. Okay, tell me, and you can each of you answer this, or one of you. Why do you volunteer?
There's a need.
Yeah.
There's a need that you put in front of us, and never walk away not wanting to help somebody. So it's always something to benefit from us too, not just them.
And I feel like I kind of live in my little bubble, and so this kind of takes me out of that. And you know, just the 15 or 20 minutes I'm in the car with this mom, I get to kind of know her and her heart and her backstory, and it just kind of opens my eyes to a different world out there, and that the need is there, and you know, they're trying as hard as they can to get their life back on track, and if you can help in any way, that's totally worth it.
Yeah, I feel like one of the things that I have been doing this year is I'm going through a challenge of like reading the Bible in a year, and one of the things that I keep coming across over and over and over again is God, you know, instructing us to care for the needy, care for the poor, care for the orphans, and for the widows. And those are families in crisis, and that's what Grace Like Rain does, is they care for families in crisis. So I felt like really challenged to be able to do that with them.
So one of the things that I love and you mentioned it takes 45 minutes. Some days it's only 30 minutes. Some days, you know, it may be a full day on a weekend or a Friday or something. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much time out of your schedule.
Right.
But the impact that you're making on somebody else's life in such a short amount of time is just amazing. And it's right here. It's right in our backyard. We don't have to go somewhere else to do this. You can make a difference right here. And realizing, I love that you said realizing the need is right here, because so many of us, I think, forget that the need is right here.
Right.
10, 15 minutes, all around us, there's the need. So if we can find that need here and make a difference, it's huge. So thank you guys all for doing that.
And I think too, as a coach, like I know Kendra and Emily specifically are my angels because they help so much. But it's like, and it's all of us, each one of us making such a big impact. And like I can only do so much as a coach, and then them, just Kendra being able to listen, you know, as on the drives to work, to and from work. Emily being there, same thing. It's a family, you know, it's a community, and it takes a village. And so anyway, okay. And I'm going to ask Emily this because none of us knew Emily before any of this. So how did you find out about the opportunity to serve with Grace Like Rain?
Right, so one of my friends is a social worker in Denton. She works for communities and schools, and I guess Grace Like Rain had gone to speak to them, and then I talked to my friend, and she was telling me about it, and I just thought it sounded like such a neat organization. So I looked it up on Facebook, and then saw that they were having an information meeting, and my husband and I just were like, let's go. So we went to one of the information meetings, and I just fell in love with the vision of it, and so I started following them on Facebook, and I think the first involvement that I had was they had posted a need for a mom that was wanting to just drop off job applications, and I wasn't working that day, so I thought, why not?
Yes, and God has used you a lot. Okay. I'm looking. I don't think we have any questions. We went live in our event versus on our Facebook page. I think that is what is making us not have any views.
No, we don't have any
Yeah.
on it.
So that's okay.
Can
We'll
I
just-
share it?
Yes, you can share it. If you, I see somebody's on. If you have any questions, we can always pop back in after we share this on our Facebook page and answer any other questions for volunteer opportunities. Our next question, I guess, well, Kendra's also touched on it. Favorite moments through volunteering. Do you have any?
I do actually. And it was Christmas, right before Christmas, we moved in a family, and it was kind of like a whole bunch of friends were there that day moving in, and we just made a huge day of it. And Tyson started early in the morning doing the loading, but then I had the girls with me, and then we met Michelle, and there's some other friends over there. We all started moving in, and then we had like a stop period where we couldn't really do anything, and we weren't close to Argyle, and we ended up going to lunch and just hanging out, and then we went back and got everything ready, and then the family arrived, and there was a moment where, do you remember, the mom stepped away in like the kitchen or something, and she was just kind of broke down.
Yes.
And just the raw emotions of watching the family appreciate all that everything had been done for them, and it's just, I don't know, it's
Powerful.
definitely, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Perfect. So I just turned myself off. All right. I'm just going to mention from that same move-in, there was a moment not too long after, Mom had walked around the corner, but everybody was kind of visiting with Mom and talking with Mom, and one of the young girls, she's in her early, right preteen, right before she turned preteen ages. She walked into the pantry and she saw this pantry full of food, and she was by herself, and she walked around the corner, and I'm standing back, and I just happened to catch it with a glimpse of her eyes, and literally her jaw dropped. And in that moment, she was so excited, and she was like, look at all this food. And she ran to grab her younger brother, to bring her younger brother back, to look at a pantry full of food. And to me, like, I just remember that whole move-in, like right before Christmas, it just was such a blessing to watch these moms, to watch this family experience something that we take for granted, a pantry full of food. As I'm arguing with my son last night about, we have no food, and it's full of food. But just it's neat to be able to watch and to see these moments and to experience them with the families. So.
I got to take, when we moved yours into an apartment, I got to pick her up, and everyone else was at the apartment getting it all ready, and, had the food there and just everything on the walls. I had it all pretty and nice. And so when I picked her up that day, I remember she was just so happy, like so full of joy and just excited. I mean, you could just see, hope in her eyes. I mean, she was just pumped. And the whole way there, I remember we hit traffic, so it was longer. So she was just, a little chatterbox. And she was just talking to me and telling me more about her backstory, and then for some reason I just jumped in and started talking to her about Jesus, and I was like, well, hey, let's just get it going. And she was, she kind of talked to me about her backstory with religion and stuff, and and nothing was pushed, and it just kind of planted a seed, and I think the more we do that, the more that happens. I mean, that's kind of the big picture, Grace Like Rain, like Sharon. I think a lot of these moms, they don't know that they have a loving Father and a redeeming Father. And I feel like if that's kind of our part is showing love through Jesus, showing them that.
With our actions.
With our actions, not just telling them, but, inviting them to church and saying, hey, you've got friends here, come with us, and making them be a part of our community.
Helping to them to feel loved and to show them unconditional love no matter what.
Yes,
and to, everybody keeps saying family. I love hearing that, because even among us, we have family that we may not have had before Grace Like Rain. We would have never known Emily. Karen and I wouldn't have been, we knew each other, but we weren't super close. And now we're getting, and you mentioned your team has grown and your family has grown through extending God's love to others and just being there to support and to be a part of them. Lindsay, you and Tyson and your family, it's so fun to watch our kids experience and do these things together. Our families have grown so much closer, and that's just amazing and awesome to watch and to be a part of. So for me, it's the community, it's the family, it's just being there and supporting and loving someone unconditionally.
Right. And I know serving others and doing this kind of ministry is a lot of times very rewarding, and we see the fruits. Where I think that's one of the neat things about this specific ministry is you do get to see the fruits of your labor, because you work so closely with these families, and then we have big events, and it's just like move-ins and things like that. But I know there's also a lot of frustrating moments too, and things we have to get through. You've got two people that you're putting together that are different, that have to figure out how to mesh, and so there are some frustrating moments as well. I think those moments are what really help us grow. And have any of you guys met any frustrating circumstances or anything since y'all started volunteering?
I think so. There's a few times where it's been that these families that you're working with are in high stress situations, and so you just have to go into it understanding that sometimes that frustration comes out on you as a volunteer, and you just have to know, I know this isn't me, that's what they're actually frustrated at, but sometimes you do have to deal with them being, upset in certain situations and things like that. But I think you just have to go into it with a lot of grace and knowing that they're in a really hard and tough situation, and just love them through it. And I think it wouldn't be a ministry if it wasn't hard. So I feel like that's just one thing that you kind of have to go into it knowing. So.
Yeah. I've had a situation where I went to go pick up a mom to take her to work, and she has a 2-year-old, and she was been a 2-year-old, and I'm sure it's hard for those children to go with different people. They'd rather be with their mom, and the mom would much rather be with their child, but the mom sees the bigger picture, and she's making sacrifices now so that they could have a better life, So even though that's a rough morning, exactly, you just give them grace, and there's frustration, but the next day was better. So
well, and it's
life.
You get to walk through them with it. Go walk through it with them, and help walk with them and guide them through some of those tough situations, which is cool. And I think I love recognizing all sides of the story. And I say this to my kids all the time: when you're dealing with a situation, there's not just one side. It's never one-sided. It's usually about 3 or 4-sided. And there's so many different, you have to understand where the person's coming from, and giving them that grace of kind of knowing what's going on. And even with us, there's times that, gosh, I've probably frustrated volunteers or people just because there may be so much going on in my mind that I'm not communicating clearly with someone. So anyways, just always understanding what's going on.
And I think too, to make known that as a ministry, I know, Michelle, that as we grow too, and the needs is coming, but we will have things that help train volunteers. So things like that, like just, how to deal with a situation if a mom just pours her heart out at you, and you're just kind of like, So, and it's just things like that. And if you want to expound on that.
No, we'll be offering some volunteer trainings. A lot of what we do is one-on-one. So anytime a volunteer steps in, we want you to feel supported by us and our volunteer coordinator, our coach coordinator, our program director, all of us, the coaches that you're working with. And we always just encourage you to come back and talk to us, because we can walk through a situation with you and learn from it together as we're moving forward and working with our families. And we will have some trainings as we continue to grow and move forward. And we also have volunteers are welcome to come to some of the coaches trainings and things like that, so that you understand more of what's going on behind the scenes.
And also behind the scenes too is like these volunteers, if something were to happen, they would know to reach out to the coach of whatever family they're working with, to get the support and to help, just to let them know like what's going on, or kind of give them an overview of the situation or situation.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Is there any other questions in there that we?
There was one more, but it's lost. Sorry.
Huh?
Give us just a second. We're technology here. And if you have any questions, we are watching to see if there's any comments popping up. So go ahead and jump in and ask those, and we'll try to get them answered.
The last question we have is, what have you learned from your involvement with Grace Like Rain? I think we've kind of touched on that.
Kind of touched on that.
Yeah.
Anything we haven't touched on? Are you all good? Anything y'all want to add in there?
No, and I guess I would say that it's not a huge commitment. Like with the mom I help with, she gets her work schedule, and the coordinator puts it on the website, and then you just sign up for what you can do. You're not committed to a certain day, or you have to do this every week. You just do what you can do, and then the community comes together and figures it out.
It's good to touch on though the Facebook, if there is like
Facebook, yeah. So because you've even helped us with babysitting.
Oh,
once.
yeah.
So Lindsay's jumped in. We were at Clean begging, so she jumped in and helped us with some last minute childcare. So we do have a volunteer forum that's a private page that we add volunteers to after you've signed up to be a volunteer through our website, which I'll touch on that here in just a minute. Once you're on that volunteer forum, we try to post our needs there. the more specific needs. So that's a driver, a childcare, and those are the primary, the big two. But we also are looking for volunteers to help with our newsletter. We're looking for some administrative people. When someone says, I want to volunteer, what I typically go back to them is, because they're like, well, what do you need me to do? What I'm going to come back to you with, and I think most of us are, is what do you want to do? What are your passions? What are your strengths? What do you enjoy doing? Because that's what I want you doing, because I want you to love what you're doing where we're at. If you have 15 minutes to give and you can be a driver, great. You're getting to spend 15 minutes in the car talking and visiting and sharing love with this family. If you have an hour to give and you love administrative work, great. We need budgeting help. Just basically anything and everything, we can fulfill it. Or we can find someone to fill those needs. And if you want to do it, I guarantee you we have someone that's going to need that service or that need. So go onto that volunteer forum, or basically go onto our website, www.gracelikegrainministries.org. There, under the Join the Family tab, is a volunteer application. Fill out that volunteer application. Our volunteer coordinator will reach back out to you with what you need to do to become a volunteer. She'll add you to the Facebook volunteer forum, and then you'll start seeing the needs come through, and you can jump in and help wherever it fits within your schedule and what's going on. So, and if you have any other questions for us, keep on asking. You could post them on this feed. We'll jump in and try to answer them on Facebook, or just reach out to us and we'll be happy to answer them. So, did I miss anything?
I think we're good. Thank you all so much for joining us today.
Yeah, and thanks for talking with us and sharing your stories. So.
Yes. All right. Bye.
Have a great day.